In this video we will see a new Hindi comedy drama movie named Dream Girl 2 which had come recently in our theaters. If you don't watch this masterpiece yet, you can watch this theaters. Let the story begin. The story starts with a young man whose name is Karamveer. People often say Karam, who doesn't have any job. He is Karam's father Jagjit Singh. These two fathers and sons works in the wake of Mata Durga called Zagrata, where Karam's father works as a singer while Karam dances. She is Pari, Karam's lover. They both love each other and have a great desire to marry. Pari's father Jaipal goes to Karam's house for the sake of their relationships and because of his daughter insists to talk Karam's father for their relationships. Jaipal goes to see that their condition is so awful. In the meanwhile, their house is seized as well as it has happened because they hadn't paid a huge amount of bank loan. It is happening in the front of Jaipal. Now he knows the reality of both father and son as well as the neighboring people also tells him that how the father and son don't pay any people loan yet. Jaipal decides not to marry her daughter with Karam because he doesn't have any job nor the property and bank balance, and says to Karam, if you would have any job and money, then I would decide for the relationships. Karam has a best friend named Smiley. The both father and son stay in a Smiley home. Jagjit is called by one of the banker for not paying the credit card bills. Jagjit hand over the call and his son, the Karam, changes his voice into the female one and deceive the banker for not paying the bills. From this, we have an idea that Karam has a magically talent to changing his voice into a female one perfectly. A Smiley and Karam goes to a bar from where a Smiley sees how a lucrative business of a bar dancer is and he tells Karam to become a bar dancer. At a starting, Karam's ignore it and irritate it but insists of his father and best friend and doesn't get any job. He ultimately perform in a bar as a bar dancer girl. Then we see some people abduct a Smiley and come to a Abu Salim home. A girl in Abu Salim's home named Sakina who is fall in love with a Smiley and they both love each other. At a starting, Abu doesn't accept their relationships but because of being a good person of a Smiley, he ready for their relationships but offers a condition that his son, whose name is Saruk, who is in a depression for a prolonged period of time, Abu Salim says, until my son wouldn't get married, till now you can't marry with Sakina, as Abu says to a Smiley. To protect his love, a Smiley persuades Karam to bring a female psychiatrist to get out the Abu's son Saruk from the depression. Karam now becomes as a puja and a lady psychiatrist who is giving aid to Saruk. In the meantime, Karam also manages his love, Pari, who is unknown from his activity, that is, she don't know yet that her lover works as a lady psychiatrist. Karam also manages as a bar dancer in the bar where he gradually becomes favorite of all the bar members, especially the owner named Sona Bhai. Karam as a puja is gradually getting succeed to get over the Saruk from the depression. He is getting normal. All of the changes that Karam as a puja has made in the Saruk, it is noticed by the Abu Salim, Saruk's father, and he decides to get hitched his son with the lady psychiatrist Puja or as a Karam. After hear this, Smiley tries to understand Abu Salim that Puja is a characterless lady and he further says that you wouldn't make Puja as a daughter-in-law, but Abu is stubborn in his decision and he doesn't persuade from a Smiley to not hitch his son from Puja. The Abu's home old grandfather person says to a Smiley if the Saruk wedding would be done, then he gives 50 lakh rupees. When Karam get to know about this, he's being so furious on a Smiley. All of this happening, Pari is unknown from this and the three, that is Karam, his father and a Smiley, they are still not reveal anything to Pari. Bing doesn't have any money and wants to marry with his love Pari. Karam doesn't have any option rather than wedding with Saruk as a puja. So despite the Karams know that he is not a female anymore, but still he waits with Saruk. No one's know about the truth that Puja and Karam both are same except from the Karam's father and his friend Smiley. Now Karam Akka Pooja is a daughter-in-law of Abu Salim's and Shahruk's wife. Karam Akka Pooja lives in Abu's home. In one night, Karam as a Pooja is talking with someone in the phone. During this, he gets urgent toilet and he doesn't aware that he acts as a Pooja and is starting the toilet. In the meantime, the grandfather person in the home sees the Pooja. In the next morning, we sees that the grandfather of Abu's home has died so far. Probably the reason behind the last night. As Abu promises the smiley, after the Shahruk's wedding, he get hitched with the Sakina, but Abu extend the wedding date of 6 months because someone dies in his home, that is his grandfather. The Abu sister Zumani, who is the wife of Sona Bhai, Akka Sajan Tiwari, who is the owner of the bar from where Karam first worked as a bar dancer, being as a Pooja. But the relation between Zumani and Sona Bhai is not so good so far. Ultimately, Zumani fall in love with the Pooja brother, who is no one but Karam itself, and she wants to marry with him, as Zumani desires. But Karam's father take it wrongly, and he thinks that Zumani wants to marry with me. He goes to Abu's home where he knows the reality. Karam goes to meet Smiley, but being as a Pooja, from where Sakina suddenly come and sees both of them, and in the meantime Pari also come and they both lady get a wrong intention about their loves. After so many attempts, then Smiley succeed to understand Sakina that there is nothing between his and Pooja, and Karam also manages Pari somehow. Now Shahrukh knows everything that Pooja is not a female anymore, but instead of being furious, he and Karam becomes friend and not reveal to truth anymore. Sakina check her pregnancy and she is pregnant. Due to fear, she took away the chart. He is taken by the Sokhya, the Abu stepson. In the meanwhile, he sees that Pooja is vomiting from the balcony. He thinks that Pooja is pregnant and spread the news everywhere, including his father, Abu as well. In the next morning, Shahrukh says directly his father that Pooja can't bear any child. After hear this, Abu get a mild heart attack. The Abu Salim's family wants to earn a sole hire of the house, so they move to Monk, where a monk says that Pooja can't bear the child. Pari sees the Karam with Zumani, where she breaks the relationship with Karam without knowing the real reason behind this. The monk says to both the so-called couple that they have to clean yourself in the river Yamuna. While this is happening, the last time where Shahrukh's come with it, but Pooja don't, and they believe that Pooja dies. A funeral is taken in the Abu's home, where everyone is coming who loves Pooja, including banker staff as well as Sona Bhai. They still don't know that Pooja is still alive as a Karam. A smiley tells Karam that Pari is wedding with someone. Karam tries to explain the real reason, but it is not worth it. Karam again being a Pooja and a start dance in the Pari wedding, where everyone reaches, including Abu's family, banker staff and Sona Bhai as well, because the police inspector detects the Pooja phone, which is a Karam's once. Where everyone knows the reality that Pooja doesn't even exist. Everyone asking, why would you do that? He further says, to acquire my love and to earn a great fortune in my bank account, as Jaipal said in the starting. He explains everything, that how he changed himself to get his love, while Pari couldn't even think at once before wed with someone, as Karam says in the sorrow. And he lives in a pain. At the end, Jaipal feels that how much Karam loved to his daughter, and he goes to Karam house with Pari to get hitched.